Coming up on Sports Night.
Men's basketball goes on the road as they look to make a playoff push.
The Lake Show gets set to face off against two ranked opponents.
And women's basketball looks to stay alive at the end of conference play.
Mikey, it's almost the end of February and what a month it's been. Luka traded to the Lakers, Kendrick Lamar halftime performance, NBA Centel briefly taken off Twitter, and don't even get me started on the Oscars this weekend.
Yeah, Luke, I'm excited to see who wins Best Picture. I mean, there's Dune Part 2, Wicked, but actually, we have the inside scoop, and lucky for all of you, you're already watching it because it's Sports Night
right now.
Welcome to another episode of Sports Night. I'm Mikey Capobianco here alongside Luke Jordan. Luke, can't say how excited I am to be on desk with you tonight.
Same here, Mikey. It's been a big week in Northwestern sports, and we'll cover it all for you right here. And what better way to kick off the show than some men's hoops? Let's get right into it. Just like someone hoping to see Frank Ocean perform at Coachella, Northwestern's men's basketball was coming off a disappointing road trip out west and saw their hopes of joining in on March Madness fading fast. Let's see how they fared this week with their backs up against a wall. We've got Wildcats in Columbus, Northwestern seeking their first road win of the season at Ohio State. Let's get into it. And Micah Parrish would get the scoring started with this ridiculous three-pointer to beat the shot clock, and already it seems like the Cats will be dealing with 99 problems. Nick Martinelli scoring, not one of them. Gets into the paint for his signature floater. Cats on the board. And it is yam time, folks. Angelo Sciarvino gets up and makes Sean Stewart a screensaver. Holy hang time. And speaking of first years, KJ Wyndham in his bag is a scary sight. Pull up three, cash. Cats held the Buckeyes to 24 points in the first half, holding a 7-point lead. The Cats started the second half on a 12-0 run led by Ty Berry. Northwestern bullying the Buckeyes. Well, every Buckeye except Micah Parrish, who tried his hardest to keep it close. Unfortunately, he was playing against the guy who leads the Big Ten in points per game. Not a battle that he was going to win. Tough hook shot. And dish it to the big man to put this one to bed. Matt Nicholson's two-handed jam puts the icing on the cake. Northwestern walks out winners for the first time since February 4th, holding the Buckeyes under 50, the fewest by a big team in conference play this season.
Northwestern's men's basketball followed the North Star and happened upon Minneapolis for their matchup against Minnesota on Tuesday night in desperate need of a win. Early on here, and Chris Collins' squad is locked in. Ty Berry gets the puppies organized and knocks down the corner tray. Northwestern would start the game on a 10-0 run. Midway through the first half now, Angelo Sciarvino rising up and splashing a three, lead back out to 8, Cats controlling the pace early. But the Golden Gophers don't go away without a fight as Parker Fox hits a wild up and under layup to tie the game up. Now nearing the end of the half, and KJ Wyndham drops his defender. Look at that move, but sells the clip, unfortunately, misses a three. Cats go into halftime up just 5. Wyndham misses his shot to make plays of the week. No worries though, as big Matt Nicholson sets the tone in the second half with a big-time slam to push the lead back up to 12. But Minnesota would respond, however. Darson Garcia puts on a show himself. Hits this tough and one bucket as part of his 26-point showing on the night. But Nick Martinelli reminds Garcia, who leads the Big Ten in scoring, responding with this tough floater, count the basket, and one. Minnesota in desperation mode now, but a costly turnover ends up in the hands of Justin Mullins, and he's off to the races, putting some beautiful touch as he converts the and one. And that was all from Minnesota as the Cats defeat the Gophers and slot themselves in the Big Ten tournament race once again, continuing to heat up as we enter March. The task ahead isn't an easy one for the Cats as they'll face Iowa, UCLA, and Maryland to wrap up conference play. Sitting on the edge of the bubble, the Cats will have to essentially win out and then take a few games in the Big Ten tournament to hopefully be in the good graces of the committee. But head coach Chris Collins says the Cats playing some of their most resilient ball of the season right now, and as the saying goes, it ain't over till it's over.
Now moving on to lacrosse, the third-ranked Cats had their work cut out for them this week as they faced two ranked opponents. A Friday night is perfect timing for your daily dosage of the Lake Show, a ranked matchup on tap against number 25 Colorado. Let's run it. Elena O got her first career start between the pipes for the Buffs, but Jordan Miles was eager to start giving her issues early. 1-0 and you. And the Buffs weren't catching any breaks on the night. Watch Maddie Taylor scoop up the rebound off the free position shot to score. Into the first, Campbell soup anyone? Served with a side of broken ankles courtesy of Riley Campbell. Northwestern with a commanding lead. And the second quarter had a scene double. Watch this. Nikki to Jordan off the free position opportunity. The Miles sisters showing that Evanston is clearly the city of sisterly love. Goal number 5 on the season for Jordan Miles. Emily Dodd had enough and took it upon herself to get Colorado on the board. Pure malice behind that shot, but Northwestern kept rolling. Maddie Taylor free position. She charges in and goes bottom left for the hat trick. She would end the night with 6. And want to know who else joined the hat trick club? Riley Campbell, of course, tapping the ball into the net to get the Cats into double digits. Oh, by the way, we're still in the first half. Let's jump to the end of the quarter where Alex Vantreska gets in on the fun, her second goal of the season. And the first years capped off the dominant night. Aditi Foster get after it. Northwestern would end up quadrupling Colorado in scoring, proving that Buffaloes do not belong in lakes.
This Tuesday, number 23 Northwestern Lacrosse headed to the JMI Wireless Dome for a top 10 matchup with the number 6 ranked Syracuse Orange. The Cats hit the ground running in this one. Nikki Miles put one in the back of the net less than a minute in to give NU an early 1-0 lead. The momentum would continue from there with Hannah Rudolph, Abby Lacasio, and Alexis Ventresca all scoring to put Northwestern up 4-0 at the end of the first quarter. However, after Sam Smith scored to make it 5-0, the Orange scored 3 of their own to make it 5-3 at the half. Things got even closer when Syracuse's Emma Muchnick scored in the third to cut Northwestern's lead to 1, but the Orange had no answers for Madison Taylor's second half surge. The juniors' 3 goals of the quarter propelled the Cats to a 9-5 lead with 1 quarter to go. And while Syracuse made an effort to come back in the fourth, Taylor notched another pair of scores to give her 5 total goals and lead Northwestern to a 12-8 victory over a top 10 team. The Cats will be back in action next Friday when they travel to Milwaukee for a matchup with Marquette. And now our very own Brendan Preisman joins us on the desk to talk about the Lake Show. Brendan, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for
Let's
having
get
me.
started with Madison Taylor, who's the nation's point leader through just 6 games, an astonishing 41 points. However, no one else on Northwestern has any more than 18 points. So who do you think needs to step up offensively for the Cats to kind of give them more well-balanced offensive attack?
Well, you mentioned it, Mikey. You know, you see someone with 41 points and you say, oh my goodness, how can that be a bad thing? And it's not on the face of it. Taylor leads the nation in goals per game at 5.17, 31 through 6 games, so over five goals a pop, and also has 10 assists as well, and that seems great. 41 points, that's fantastic. You know, Northwestern has had great scores in the past, Izzy Skane, Aaron Kuykendall. The issue is, where's all the other scoring coming from? For the most part, it's not. As you said, not a single player on Northwestern's roster other than Madison Taylor has scored more than 18 points this season. Nikki Miles has 17, 6 goals and 11 assists, and Riley Campbell has 15. She's the only other Wildcat in double figures in goals scored, but she's only got 10. Northwestern, they're fine right now offensively. Obviously, they're scoring almost 20 points a game, but most of those are coming from Taylor, and we've seen top 10 teams like Boston College, like Syracuse, really do a good job at shutting Taylor out. Remember, Taylor didn't score in the first half in that road trip against Syracuse. So Northwestern's going to need to find some more offensive success. As fun as it is to watch the Taylor Tornado tear through defenses, we're going to need to see a little bit more variety, maybe some Campbell Cyclones coming on through. If the Wildcats can do that, then they should be just fine going the rest of the way.
Well, and where Northwestern has also really shown this year is on defense. They're allowing just 7.3 goals per matchup, and that's with some key departures from last season. Who's been stepping it up on the other side of the field this year?
Yeah, you mentioned the departures. Carly Mahoney, Kendall Halpern, both of them All-Americans last year, both of them spectacular defenders, but it's the returners for Northwestern that have been making their hay this year. Sammy White, the senior, named preseason Big Ten Defender of the Year, one Big Ten Defender of the Week this past week for her performance against Colorado and Syracuse, but she has been a menace defensively. 13 ground balls, 10 caused turnovers, and 11 draw controls as well. She's been a terror basically everywhere on the field. One of Kelly Monty-Hiller's favorite players, a really intelligent player, leads that zone defense. And then Jane Hansen coming back again in her 6th year of eligibility, I believe. 10 ground balls, 10 caused turnovers, and she was the real hero against Syracuse. 4 ground balls, 3 caused turnovers, including 1 on a free position, a LeBron James-esque chase down to prevent a sure Syracuse goal. She's been incredible. I can't believe she didn't make an All Big Ten team last year. She really should have, so I'll be banging that drum for as long as I possibly can. Both White and Hansen should be All-Americans, and they proved it this week.
And of course, a good defense can't be possible without a great goalkeeper behind them. Delaney Schweitzer has now made 4 starts after coming in from Syracuse, and her goals against average has really improved every game she's played. So I guess, what have you seen from her so far that gives you the confidence that she'll be ready for the challenge of Big Ten play?
Yeah, well, after the first quarter against Boston College, when Delaney Schweitzer gave up 5 goals in her first action in purple and white, I was thinking, uh-oh, we might need to be worried here. But then, since more games have happened, I was starting to realize, okay, wait a second. That's just your first game back in collegiate action since last spring against the #1 team in the country that's got some of the best offensive players in the nation. Of course you're going to struggle to get going, but since then, Schweitzer settled down quite nicely. She gave up 13 goals to the Eagles. Since then, she's given up 14 goals total in 3 games, and against Syracuse, she gave up 8 of those goals, but also made 7 saves. She's done a much better job at being aggressive with her stick, willing to come out of the crease if need be to challenge an attacker head on, and you really see why she was named 2023 IWLCA Goalkeeper of the Year. She's an incredibly intelligent goalkeeper. Stick speed is fantastic, and she's done an excellent job at shoring up that Northwestern defense on the back line. Right now, really, everything's clicking, and the sky is the limit for this team.
Well, Brennan, it seems like it's shaping up to be another exciting season for Northwestern lacrosse. Thanks for joining us in the studio tonight.
Thanks, guys.
And when we come back, we'll have updates on women's basketball, softball, and baseball.
Trying to work my way out of the prison system was the most difficult challenge of my life. It only became tangible once I became a Northwestern student.
One, two, three, 4.
My relationship with Giannis is unique. We're from the same country, we're from the same city. Being a Northwestern alum, I think, has tremendous advantages in the sports industry. To me, that community, it's been with me for 20 plus years.
Welcome back to our Sports Night studio here in Evanston, or should I say, Evanston?
That's right, we finally saw a 50-degree day and spirits were up all over campus, but despite the warm weather, we're actually going to head back inside and see what's been going down on the hardwood. Coming off a conference win against Rutgers, women's basketball is looking to keep the good times rolling, taking on 2 key Big Ten matchups as they fought to keep their postseason hopes alive. The Wildcats welcomed the 21st-ranked Maryland Terrapins to Welsh Ryan Arena last Thursday, hoping to take their 3rd Big Ten victory against one of the toughest opponents they'll face this season. Maryland, on the other hand, looking to maintain their strong Big Ten standing. First few minutes of this one, Caroline Lau hustling down the court, and she finds Kyla Jones for the first Cats points of the game. The Terps would surge ahead, but leave NU with a manageable deficit to end the quarter. And Maryland kept chugging along after the break. Kayleen Smirnikel under the rim, dishes to Sailor Pofenbarger, and she drills the 3-pointer, cap off an 8-1 scoring run for her squad. But the Cats would not give up. Late in the first half, it's Gracie Sullivan finding Melanie Daly, who gets some space and nails the jumper to take Northwestern into the half. They've got work to do, down 18. But halfway through the third, and things are getting interesting. Daly mid-range jumper, and it's good. In the blink of an eye, the Cats have pulled within 10. Northwestern battling late in the fourth. Loud to Sullivan for 3, and she connects. Cats cut the deficit to 5, and we've got a ball game. A chance to complete the comeback now. It's Sullivan again. She shoots, but this one clanks off the rim. Missed opportunity to make it a one-possession game. The Cats still have a shot if they play some defense. Smichael to Sarah Tebasu, and she puts it up, and it's pure. Tebasu with a key 3 to ice the game for the Terps. Northwestern made a valiant effort at a comeback, but they ultimately fall short. 85-79 is the final score from Evanston as the Cats look to regroup and retune for their penultimate regular season matchup.
Northwestern faced off against Wisconsin last Saturday at the Kohl Center in Madison, game with huge playoff implications for both teams here. Now underway 13-10, Wisconsin leads Caroline Lau on the right wing, swings the ball to Williams, who drives into the paint with a series of moves here, kicks it back out to Lau, who knocks down the three-pointer to even the score up with the Badgers at 13. Now Casey Harder comes off the screen, set by Walsh, kicks it to the pass, finds it inside. Kaylee Walsh drives for the layup, and the Cats take the lead, 10-9. Later in the first quarter here, Cats trailing 16-15. First year Zamaya Walton comes off the screen, set by Taylor Williams, drives to the right side of the paint, but turns the ball over here. Wisconsin gets it back on the other end. Ronnie Porter outlet pass ahead to Sarah Williams, who gets it for the bucket. And at the first quarter, Wisconsin leads 23-18. 34-33 here at the end of the second quarter. Wisconsin on the fast break again. Porter throws a pass to an open Haley Douglas for the easy two-point layup, finishing the half in style for the Badgers. Here we are in the third quarter. Lau inbounds the ball wide open. Taylor Williams under the basket finishes off with her left hand. Wisconsin up 2 here midway through the third quarter. Pass inside, swings it to Wisconsin's Lily Cron, who knocks down the open three-pointer. Wisconsin's Lily Cron drives again here, kicks to the baseline, pass out to Tess Myers. Myers swings the ball back to Haley Douglas, kicks it to the corner. Cron again, who nails a 3, catching fire from behind the arc for Wisconsin. And the Cats ultimately fall to the Badgers 73-68. Northwestern has just one conference game left on Sunday against Nebraska at home. Backs truly against the wall, but it'll take more than a win to make the Big Ten tournament. They'll need to rely on some other teams to lose the final games. It may be a little, too late.
After facing off against some fierce competition to open the year, Northwestern softball traveled to Cathedral City, California for the Mary Nutter Classic. Unfortunately for the Wildcats, they went just 1-3 over the weekend, dropping the team's overall record to 6-8. The slugging struggle started right away as Northwestern was deadlocked in an offensive struggle with Seattle. The Wildcats tied the game in the 7th, but the Redhawks would win after an obstruction call at home plate scored the decisive run. Things were much better against Utah on Saturday. Northwestern put up 5 runs in the 6th inning, buoyed by a 2-run double from Kelsey Nader. NU took a 6-1 victory in that contest, but Saturday still dealt with the Wildcats' loss. St. Mary's allowed just 2 Northwestern hits in a 2-0 victory, dropping the Wildcats to 1-2 on the weekend. And if Sunday isn't a day for relaxation, someone forgot to tell Cal's office. The Golden Bears leapt all over Northwestern's pitching, scoring 15 runs in just 5 innings. The Wildcats fell 15-7, sealing a 1-3 record for the weekend. That's now the second consecutive tournament in which Northwestern has posted a losing record. The Cats will be back in action this weekend at the Cardinal Classic in Louisville, Kentucky.
Following its first opening series victory since 2008, Northwestern looked to continue the momentum in Cary, North Carolina this weekend. The Cats kicked off the weekend with a matchup against Harvard on Saturday. Northwestern opened the scoring in the 3rd inning with RBI singles from Trent Liolis and Tyler Gannis. The Cats added 2 more runs in the 5th inning and a run in the 8th inning to extend the lead to 5. Grad student Crawford Wade got the start on the mound, pitching 7 scoreless innings and fanning 9 batters. Combined with Sam Leboki's 2 innings, the Cats only allowed 1 run and took Game 1 5-1. On Sunday, the Cats looked ahead to a doubleheader with Fordham. All of Game 1's action happened in the 1st inning. Senior catcher Bennett Markinson launched a 2-run home run to left field to put the Cats up 2 in the top of the 1st. In the bottom of the frame, Fordham responded with an RBI single, but 6 consecutive scoreless innings from Garrett Shearer prevented any more Rams offense as NU won 2-1. However, Fordham flipped the script in Game 2, scoring a pair of quick runs in the 2nd frame. Luckily, Bennett Markinson came to play and blasted another 2-run homer in the 4th. After Tyler Gannis tacked on another run in the following inning, Markinson hits his second home run of the game and his third of the day to take a 6-2 lead. The Cats added 3 more runs between the 7th and 8th innings to grab a 9-3 win. The Cats faced their biggest test on Monday when they took on Indiana. For the third time this weekend, the Cats offense had an early start, jumping out to a 2-0 lead after 2 frames. An RBI double in the 4th and an RBI single in the 7th evened the score. Joey Franceschi gave IU the 3-2 lead in the 8th with an RBI single. And with their backs against the ropes in the top of the 9th, the Cats looked to no one other than quarterback-turned-outfielder Jack Lausch, who single-tied the game at 3. Unfortunately, NU couldn't hold on in the bottom of the frame as the Hoosiers walked it off on an RBI single. NU's 3-1 weekend pushes its record to 5-2, its best start since 2003. The Cats will face number 17 Duke in a weekend series starting Friday.
And stay right where you are, because when we get back, we'll have an exclusive look at Northwestern wrestling.
My relationship with Giannis is unique. We're from the same country, we're from the same city. Being a Northwestern alum, I think, has tremendous advantages in the sports industry. To me, that community, it's been with me for 20 plus years.
Ready, set, Yano!
Hello and welcome back to the studio. But Mikey, let me tell you, I am excited that we get to talk about this next team.
Absolutely, Luke. Let's get right into it here. Let's travel to the mats where Northwestern Wrestling has had its share of ups and downs this season. I'll be honest, I'm no wrestling expert, but our very own Tomas Moran has a scoop on Northwestern Wrestling's senior night.
On Friday, February 14th, the Northwestern Wrestling team hosted the Wisconsin Badgers, looking to build upon their first conference win against the Michigan State Spartans. This would be the last home meet the Wildcats would host before the Big Ten Championships. The meet was also the Wildcats' senior night. Redshirt junior Aiden Vandenbush was among those honored.
Since elementary school, we wrestled together. Great dude, all solid, all around. It's just the biggest experience that we can be here to support him on his dreams. Like, he's chasing a dream, and I love that for him. I hope he succeeds.
Redshirt freshman Dirk Morley recorded his second dual win of the season in a down-to-the-wire heavyweight bout. Morley defeated Wisconsin's Gannon Rosenfeld 15-14 in gritty fashion, securing a key result for the Wildcats.
It felt good, yeah. Yeah, definitely. It's been a tough season, so just going out there, wrestling full 7 minutes, right? It ain't over till it's over. Making sure I really got the most out of myself. That's definitely what we're looking for going into Big Tens and NCAAs.
The home side emerged victorious 27-11 and ended the regular season 4-7 after losing at Iowa. The Cats will now slide over to host the Big Ten tournament.
It's not just about one match right now. It's not just about one weekend. It's about building as much as we can build and getting the most out of ourselves in preparation for Big Tens and then NCAAs. The message these last few weeks has been create the momentum, wrestle the way that you want to wrestle in March.
On March 8th and 9th, Walsh Ryan Arena will welcome the 14 Big Ten wrestling programs, 9 of which are ranked, including #1 Penn State and #2 Iowa, for the Big Ten Wrestling Championships. Northwestern will look to put on a strong performance at home ahead of the NCAA Championships. For NNN Sports, I'm Tomas Moran.
Thanks, Tomas. Couldn't have said it better myself, and it'll be an important couple weeks here for the Cats as they prepare for the Big Ten Championships here in Evanston next weekend.
Northwestern's women's tennis faced off against a couple of ranked opponents last weekend. They took on the 31st-ranked Vanderbilt Commodores, followed by the 30th-ranked Kansas Jayhawks. On Friday, the Wildcats lost their match with Vanderbilt 4-2. The Cats could not find their rhythm in doubles, but Brittany Lau and Mika Dagan-Fruchtman dropped their Court 1 match 6-4 as well. Singles was a different story. Both Sydney Pratt on Court 4 and Nina Feldman on Court 6 beat their opponents in straight sets. On Sunday, however, the Cats struck back against the Jayhawks, winning by a score of 4-3. Down 2 points, Northwestern sent 4 courts to a third set. Behind the efforts of Pratt, Kylie Rabjohns, Lau, and Feldman, they won each of those matches. Feldman earned Big Ten Player of the Week for her efforts as she went undefeated on the weekend. Northwestern improved its record to 7-5 and will only play Big Ten competition from here on out. They start matches against Wisconsin and Minnesota this weekend.
Men's tennis welcomed a trio of opponents to the Combe Tennis Center this past weekend, starting with the showdown versus the Memphis Tigers on Friday. The Cats got 3 wins in singles, headlined by first-year Carter Pate's 3-set win, but Connor Gannon defeated Cy Goley in a third-set tiebreaker to seal the 4-3 win for Memphis. Next up, Northwestern took on number 50 Notre Dame in the first of 2 matches in the team's Sunday doubleheader. Felix Norby and Max Bankson added their second victories of the weekend, but the Fighting Irish held strong elsewhere, winning 4-2. Wrapping up the weekend was a matchup against in-state foe Chicago State. Northwestern dominated, winning 6-0, with 3 Cats winning their singles matches without dropping a single game. The Cats will stay home this weekend, hosting Northern Kentucky and Marquette in a doubleheader on Saturday.
Women's swimming and diving traveled to Columbus, Ohio last Wednesday through Saturday to participate in the Big Ten Championships to start their postseason run. The Cats scored 8th place in the 200 medley relay on Wednesday, while also setting a new school record in the 800 free relay. The next day, freshman Zoe Norman set back-to-back personal bests in the 500 free en route to her selection to the event's all-freshman team alongside fellow Wildcat Gray Davis. On Friday, 3 NU swimmers, Nikki Venema, Sydney Smith, and Maggie Pap Nicholas won their individual races, but the Cats had their best results on the final day of the tournament, landing on the podium twice on their way out. Venema started things off, earning a spot on the podium after putting up a personal best in the 100 free prelim. Then the relay team of Venema, Lindsay, Irvin, Caroline Lee, and Smith finished the 7th in the 400 free. The Cats finished 9th place overall in the tournament with a total of 409 points.
Northwestern women's fencing competed in the CFCC Championships in Detroit over the weekend. The 7th-ranked Wildcats had a strong showing across the board, putting 16 players on the podium across the 3 individual events. As a team, the Cats dominated their first 4 matchups. Northwestern beat Wayne State 21-6, defeated Cleveland State and Denison by the same 23-4 scoreline, and beat Lawrence 24-3. In the 5th matchup, 5th-ranked Ohio State narrowly beat Northwestern 14-13. The Cats responded with a 25-2 win against Detroit Mercy, securing 2nd place in the CCFC Championships. Northwestern will be back in action on March 8th in the NCAA Midwest Regional, where multiple Cats will try to punch their tickets to the NCAA Championships. And here's how you can catch the Cats this weekend.
Men's basketball welcomes Iowa to the Welsh for a pivotal Friday night clash.
Baseball kicks off a 3-game set against the Duke Blue Devils in North Carolina.
And women's basketball returns home on Sunday for their regular season finale against Nebraska.
But now don't go anywhere, because coming up, we have everyone's favorite part of the show.
I'm Kelly McEvers, founding host of the NPR podcast Embedded.
I'm James Edwards, host of the Unresolved podcast from Frontline.
I'm Antonia Cereijido, former senior producer of Anything for Selena podcast and current executive producer at LAS Studios.
My narrative, since I've been locked up and kind of made my transition, has been like redemption, accountability.
When I come into the classroom environment, every individual that sits amongst me takes education seriously.
My relationship with Giannis is unique. We're from the same country, we're from the same city. Being a Northwestern alum, I think, has tremendous advantages in the sports industry. To me, that community, it's been with me for 20 plus years.
Well, Mikey, it's been a great show, and I think I'm just about ready to pack it up and head home. I'm not forgetting anything, am I?
Whoa. You kidding me? It's Plays of the Week. Roll the tape.
Coming in at number 3, women's basketball hosting number 21 Maryland. Let's see what happens. And Melanie Daly tosses it inside to Taylor Williams. She dribbles in and goes up for the reverse layup. You do not see that every day.
At number 2 now, men's basketball up 15 points on Minnesota. Nick Martinelli receives a bounce pass from KJ Wyndham, and his floater is good and one. Martinelli led NU with 29 points, his career high in a Big Ten game.
And at number 1, Wildcats leading the Buckeyes on the road. KJ Wyndham uses Nicholson's screen to drive inside, shoots with his left, and banks it in as he's fouled. He dropped 15 points and played a career high 29 minutes in NU's road win.
And the Academy Award goes to, oh wait, wrong show. But it's been a wicked time. Hopefully this show had some substance and spice for you all. Thanks for venturing into the complete unknown with us.
If you're still watching this, I'm glad that you can say, I'm still here. Hopefully it hasn't been too brutal. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at NNN Sports and Twitter at NNN_sports. For Mikey Capobianco, I've been Luke Jordan. Have a great evening.